Hey, 42 here. There exists a team of nuclear physicists, engineers and science fiction writers called the Human Interference Task Force, whose sole job is to find a way to prevent future humans from stumbling upon our radioactive waste storage facilities. There is a very real concern that humans 10,000 years in the future might not understand the warning labels we have put in place, or possibly even our language, thus causing massive harm to themselves or others by mishandling the waste. This scenario might seem unlikely, but it's much more of a concern than most people realise. In 1987 in Brazil, an incident occurred when the source from a radiotherapy machine was stolen from an abandoned hospital. Unbeknownst to the scavengers, the object they stole was extremely radioactive. It was covered in radiation danger symbols, but they didn't recognise them. The source was passed around from person to person, resulting in 4 deaths from radiation poisoning, and over 250 people were found to have high levels of radioactive materials in their bodies. Luckily, the Human Interference Task Force have come up with a solution to the issue of warning future humans about the dangers of our radioactive waste. Ray cats. The idea is simple. Genetically modify cats so that they change colour and glow when they are close to a source of dangerous radioactivity. But there's a step 2. And that is to intertwine ray cats deeply within the culture of mankind so that they transcend language, building shrines all over the world to ray cats and their radiation divining powers. Songs have even been written about ray cats. The cat was chosen as an animal because since the dawn of time it has been a culturally significant animal to the human race, and should continue to be so for many thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians worshipped a cat goddess. The only problem we have is we have yet to find a way to make cats change colour. But it is a theoretical possibility, and there are some people crazy enough out there to give it a shot. Now, this video has absolutely nothing to do with cats or radioactivity, but that long segue does allow me to ask a question that I've long wondered since I was a small boy. How come, when protagonists in superhero films come into contact with radioactive waste, they get cool superhuman powers, whereas in real life it would only lead to severe illness and death? Science fiction writers have always taken a certain amount of liberty with the truth, bending the rules of physics in their writings. But that is their job to do so. It is called science fiction after all. But the thing is, to be a great science fiction writer, one has to be rather good at actual science. And so, sci-fi books and even films have a scarily accurate record for predicting the science fact of tomorrow. For the 1964 World's Fair, sci-fi writer Isaac Asimov wrote a paper making several predictions about life in the future. Most of what he predicted was so accurate that it's almost as if he owned a TARDIS. He said that in 2014 we will be able to see, as well as hear, who we are talking to over the telephone. He envisioned large flat-screen televisions and 3D films. He predicted self-driving cars, although he did describe them as cars with robot brains. And he also predicted the invention of the internet. But H.G. Wells also deserves a big mention, for although he was born 150 years ago, in his science fiction novels he predicted phones, email, television, lasers, atomic weapons, and tanks. Sure, the sci-fi of the past has also got it grossly wrong on occasion. We still don't have hoverboards or rehydrated food that Marty McFly would be proud of. But there's no doubt about it, as time has progressed, the line between science fiction and science fact has become increasingly blurred. I've been playing a lot of Endless Space 2 recently, a new turn-based space strategy game by Amplitude Studios. It's an enthralling space exploration and colonization game where you can explore some distant star systems and expand your space civilization. When you chance upon the ruins of an ancient civilization, you find a powerful substance called dust, which has special properties, and so dust becomes the most precious and sought after material in the universe, the intergalactic currency. If you enjoyed Endless Space and Endless Legends, then you're going to absolutely love Endless Space 2. It's one of the most addictive and well-crafted games I've played in a long time. If, like me, you really enjoy intelligent strategy games that totally immerse you in another world, then this is just one you have to play. And good news, Endless Space 2 is currently free to play this weekend only via Steam, if you click the link in the description below. What's so great about Endless Space 2 is that everybody's experience is unique to them. Every time you play, you are immersed in your own randomly generated galaxy full of new civilizations, life forms, technologies, and unknown worlds for you to discover and conquer. There are limitless possibilities of how you can play the game, so you can truly put your own mark on the galaxy however you see fit. Endless Space 2's captivating fictional universe takes inspiration from sci-fi literature and movies, but also real life, featuring constellations like Auriga, or even more recently the addition within the game of TRAPPIST-1 right after the actual scientific discovery. The idea of intergalactic space settlers travelling from planet to planet, trading resources, waging wars and exchanging mystical cosmic dust seems most definitely like science fiction. Surely, these are no more than fantasies within a video game. But we shouldn't be so quick to make that assumption. In 2007, Parkes Observatory in Australia picked up something via their radio telescope that they've never heard before. Vast bursts of radio waves hitting our planet, each one lasting just milliseconds, but containing incredible amounts of energy. They dubbed this phenomenon an FRB, or Fast Radio Burst. And then again in 2012 at the Arecibo Radio Telescope in Puerto Rico, more FRBs were detected. And astronomers have since been able to pinpoint the exact source of these mysterious communications from the depths of space. They didn't originate from our own galaxy, the Milky Way, like scientists originally suspected, but from another galaxy over 3 billion light years away within the constellation of Auriga. Since we learned of their existence, we have only detected a total of 30 FRBs from outer space. The current scientific consensus is that FRBs are releases of energy from young neutron stars all over the universe, i.e. they are a natural phenomenon. But the FRB that came from the Auriga constellation was different. Of all 30 FRBs we have detected on Earth, the Auriga burst is the only one that has repeated itself. FRB 121102, as it's been affectionately named, repeated itself in short, regular intervals. Obviously, repetition isn't a quality often found in nature. Most of the time, nature appears to be random. The power of this FRB was also off the scale. If you could measure the FRB from all directions from the source, then each pulse lasting only a few milliseconds contained more energy than our sun emits in a whole year. The unusual and unique nature of this FRB led many people, both inside and outside of the scientific community, to theorize that these emissions came from a highly advanced ancient space civilization. Considering the distance to the constellation of Auriga and the power and technology that would be needed to generate such an immense signal, indicates that if this is true, then the civilization that produced the FRB would have to be both highly advanced and very, very old. So, maybe the endless space universe as portrayed in the game series isn't so far from the truth. Now, the great Douglas Adams wrote of a species of fish called the Babel fish, a small yellow fish that when inserted into one's ear will instantaneously translate any language in the entire universe into the user's native tongue. Essentially, a universal translator. Such an incredibly useful device is not unique to the work of Douglas Adams. An instant universal translator has been theorised in the works of many science fiction authors and filmmakers, from Doctor Who to Star Trek. But what if I told you that said device is no longer the dream of sci-fi visionaries? This year, one of the world's largest tech giants announced a new breed of earphones that are essentially technological babelfish, allowing the seamless translation of over 40 world languages. And you can guarantee that it won't be long before other large tech corporations are competing to develop their own version of the babelfish for consumers. In just a couple of years' time, global language barriers will no longer be a barrier at all, and that is astonishing. Now, teleportation is the most stereotypical example of science fiction that one could possibly imagine. It has long seemed an impossibility. But even teleportation is fast becoming a reality. In a recent breakthrough experiment, researchers at the University of Calgary in Canada managed to teleport a particle for the first time ever. They used the city's fibre optic network to teleport a single photon of light from one side of the city to the other, using a mechanism known as quantum entanglement, a quirk of quantum mechanics that is so complicated that even Albert Einstein admitted that he didn't understand how it works. They were able to transport the particle 3.8 miles at faster than the speed of light. Now, quantum entanglement can enable travel faster than the speed of light because in the world of quantum mechanics, a particle can have a physical effect on another particle because they are entangled with one another, no matter the distance between them. Teleporting a single particle may not seem like much, but it is the first incredible step in being able to scale up the process. After all, if you can teleport a single particle, it won't be long at all until we have the capability to teleport larger objects like cats and toasters. Perhaps we could even have teleporting grey cats that would pop into existence in a brief flash of glowing hues to warn you of potential radiation. Wow, the future is starting to look weird. Despite this remarkable achievement, teleporting humans will likely remain in the realm of science fiction for many decades. But there is a more immediate, game-changing use for this discovery. It could lead to quantum networking. Using the same quantum entanglement methods, we could theoretically create a brand new global internet network with zero latency. When you send an email or instant message to a friend in another country, there is a small but noticeable delay, anywhere between 20 to 1000 milliseconds, before it reaches them. This is because the photons of light that carry the data you just sent have to physically travel through fibre optic cables, possibly across oceans and continents. A quantum internet would be instantaneous, opening a new realm of possibilities for internet security, medicine, military, and many other applications. And of course, internet gaming would be an absolute dream with zero lag. But you don't need to wait for the advent of quantum networking to experience Endless Space 2 for free this weekend on Steam. Click the link in the description to start playing now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please click here to support me on Patreon, which really helps out the channel. Click here to watch another video, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe.